So we are here to discuss introduction to Power BI, right? You guys are here to learn Power BI. What is the agenda for today's classes? Uh, Before we start, I'm going to record this video and I'm going to share this video with you. You'll get the class video. Along with the class video, you also get the notes, guys. I'm going to write a lot of notes. I'll just take one notepad. In the notepad, I'm going to write a lot of notes like this. I'm going to share these notes also with you. You'll get both video and notes. Let's take the sorry. Mm. Okay. Now, what is the agenda for today's classes? I'm going to take this class for next 60 minutes. In the next 60 minutes, you will understand complete introduction to Power BI. Introduction to Power BI. First, in order to understand Power BI, first we need to understand what is data analysis. If you understand data analysis, then only you can understand Power BI. First, we will try to learn what is data analysis. Once you learn what is data analysis, then it's good to learn what is Power BI. And once you learn what is Power BI, then we will understand how to perform data analysis using Power BI, how to perform data analysis using Power BI. These are the 3 points you guys will learn today. First, let's start with what? What is data analysis? First, I'll start with the definition of data analysis, guys. Might be a lot of people know about what is data analysis here. So let me start with a small definition of data analysis. First, I can tell data analysis is one process. Data analysis is a process which converts business data into actionable information. Business data into what? Actionable information. That is the definition. Data analysis is one process. That process will convert company's business data into what? Actionable information. Okay, you will learn every point. I'll just give the justification to this point. When I said it's a process, let's try to understand this line now. When I said it's a process means collection of steps. Anywhere when I said process means collection of steps. Let me show you data analysis contains what are the different steps. I'm just opening an image. These are the different steps available in the data analysis. If you guys see here, data analysis is how many step process? What are the 5 steps? Step 1 is what? OLTPs. Step 2, ETL. Step 3, OLAP. Step 4, creating reports. Step 5, share the reports to the clients. These are the 5 steps you have. Before we understand Power BI, we need to understand these 5 steps in the data analysis. Okay, let's start. To be more specific, data analysis is a 5-step process. 5-step process which converts business data into actionable information. What are the first step? 5 steps I said. First step is what? OLTP. Second step is what? ETL. Third step is what? OLAP. Fourth step is create reports. Fifth step is what? Share reports to clients. These are the 5 steps you have in the data analysis. Let me graphically show you how it looks like. This one is, I can call it as data analysis. Data analysis also known as business intelligence. Wherever I said data analysis or business intelligence, both are same. Data analysis contains how many steps I said? 5 steps I said, right? Business intelligence also contains how many steps? 5 steps. What are the 5 steps? OLTPs, ETL, OLAP, creating reports or visuals, sharing them with the clients. First, we need to understand the 5 steps in the data analysis. Once you understand this data analysis, then understanding Power BI become easy. Okay. Now, before I start explaining this 5 steps, we'll discuss that. Okay, there is data analysis which contains 5 steps, right? Now, the point is, who will use this data analysis? Who will use data analysis? Who will use this data analysis is each and every company will perform data analysis. Company will perform data analysis. Every company which is existing there, they need to perform this 5 steps, guys. They need to perform this 5 steps data analysis. So let me give the justification to this point. Let me explain this point. Take when there is any company. Take any company. Tell me a few company names. There are many companies available. Tell me a few company names is. I can write some random company names. Flipkart is one company. Amazon is one company. Like this, ICICI is one company. I'll just add this training institute also in the list. Analytics Benchmark is one company. If you go on write, I can write thousands and lakhs of company names. We can write thousands and lakhs of company names. When there is any company, the company will do some business. Each company will do some business. Flipkart is doing what type of business? E-commerce. Amazon is also doing what type of business? E-commerce. ICICI is doing what type of business? Banking business. Analytics Benchmark is into education sector. So you take any company, it will do one of the business. When a company is doing the business, from the business, they'll get the business data. When a company is doing the business, when Flipkart is doing e-commerce business, they will get the data, business data. What type of data Flipkart will get? They'll get orders related data. They'll get returns related data. They'll get products related data. They'll get customers related data. Customers. Customers data is the important data for the companies, and they'll get sales related data and so on, right? When Flipkart is doing e-commerce business, this is the business data it will produce. This type. In the same note, Amazon is also doing e-commerce business. They also get this such kind of business data. So you tell me ICICI is doing banking business. When ICICI is doing banking business, they also get the business data. What is the business data ICICI will get? They'll get transactions related data, day-to-day transactions data. When you deposit the money or when you transfer the money, it is a transactions data, savings account data, credit card data, loans data, insurance data, and so on. Like this, lot of data ICICI Bank will generate. Like this, you take any company, it will produce lot of data. You take Analytics Benchmark. We are into education sector. We also get the business data. What is the business data for us? What type of business data this training institute, Analytics Benchmark will get? Students data. The most important business data for us is what? Students data, staff related data, courses related data, fee related data. If you write, you'll get a lot of other data also. Any company, when they do any type of business, they will produce a lot of data. When a company is getting the business data, that data need to be stored. Generally, whatever the business data we're getting, we will store it or we will keep it for our future reference purpose. So this company, most importantly, they need to store the students data. Students data, they need to store it. When they store the students data, then only they can inform that there is a new batch starting. If I don't store the data, students data, how can I inform there is a demo today? Right? Every company, the most important asset is their data. Their data. That data need to be stored. See, some companies will store their data in the Excel files. When the volumes of data is less, generally, companies will store their data in Excel files case. When the volumes of data is more, they will store in some databases like SQL Server, like Oracle database. Not only these two database. For example, I write two. Some companies will store in MySQL database. Some companies will store in DB2 database, and so on, guys, and so on. When companies will store, wherever we store the data, that we call it as data source case. Anywhere company is storing the data, that I can call it as a data source, or in other words, I can call it as a OLTP. Which one? OLTP. So now companies will store the data. Examples for this OLTPs are data sources. Some companies will store in Excel. Some companies will store in SQL Server. Some companies will store in MySQL database, and so on. Wherever companies store their data, business data, we call it as either a data source or OLTP. Okay, you'll know more about it. Now, what is the next step is they want to analyze the data. They want to what? What about the data that was stored here? That data they need to do what? Analyze. Analyze means they need to understand why the companies need to analyze the data is to understand where we are doing good, where we are doing bad. To understand this, companies need to what? Analyze the data. Let's say ICICI Bank is operating in 1,000 branches. They have 1,000 branches. When they have 1,000 branches, they need to understand which branches are performing good, which branches are performing bad. Understanding where we are doing good and bad is nothing but what? Analyzing the data. By analyzing the data only, we can understand where we are doing good and bad. Companies need to analyze the data to understand the performance and to take the better business decisions. Right? That point. Companies need to analyze the data, to take better business decisions, guys. Better business decisions. In order to take the better business decisions, they need to analyze the data. Okay, what is this? You'll understand. Let me show you. I'll just give an example here. Take an example. Currently, ICICI is operating in 1,000 branches. I said right. They are out of 1,000 branches. They are planning to close 10 branches. What they're planning to do? Close 10 branches. When they want to close 10 branches, will they randomly go and pick the 10 branches from here and close it, or what they'll do? When ICICI want to close some 10 branches out of 1,000, will they randomly pick and close it? No.
No.
They don't randomly pick and close it. Then what they'll do? They will take the 1,000 branches data and they'll do what? Analyze the data. Once they analyze the data, they'll understand what? Which branches are doing good, which branches are doing bad. They'll go and take the branches which are doing bad and they'll close it. So in order to take this decision, which 10 branches to close, what I need to do to take the decision? I need to analyze how many branches data. All the 1,000 branches data I need to analyze, and then I need to take the decision. That's what I written. Companies need to what? Analyze the data to take better business decision. Without analyzing the data, if I randomly go and pick some 10 branches and close it, I might close the branches which are doing good, right? That is not supposed to happen. Okay. So, okay, we are telling that in order to take the decisions, you need to analyze the data. In order to analyze the data, we required something called reports, guys. What you guys required? To analyze the data, companies required reports. Let's write here. To analyze the data, companies required something called reports. Companies required reports. Let's see what the reports is. I'll just show you how the reports will look like. By seeing here, you will understand this kind of reports are required. app.powerbay.com. I'll just log in here just to show you how the reports will look like. I'm just going to open a couple of reports to show you. I'm just going to open few reports. Okay. So each one is a report here. You can see this is complete report. This kind of reports are required for the companies to analyze the data. This complete one, we call it as one report. Look at this another one. What is the title of the report you have? On the top left side, you have the title. What is the title? E-commerce sales report, right? Here, try to understand the terminology. This complete one is a report. Each one is a visual. Line chart is one visual. Map is one visual. Scatter chart is one visual. Column chart is one visual. Donut chart is one visual. Card visuals. Like this, each one is a visual. All the visuals together, we call it as a what? Report. Each one is a visual. This also visuals. Slicers. All this we call it as a report. This kind of reports are required for the companies to analyze the data. Companies to analyze the data. If you see one of this visual, you look at this visual. In this visual, what I'm showing is In this visual, I'm showing what? Month-wise sales. From this visual, I can understand which months are doing good, which months are doing bad. Tell me, by looking at this visual, which month is generating higher sales? November month. Which month? November month is the one which we have more sales. Which month is doing lower sales? February month. This kind of visuals will help us where we are doing good, where we are doing bad. Let me show you another visual here. You have another visual. Just let me show you that visual. This is another visual. In this visual, what you are showing? Subcategory wise, sum of profits. This visual will tell you which subcategories are generating highest profits, which subcategories are generating lowest profits. Tell me which subcategory is generating highest profits by using this visual? Copiers. Second highest profit? Phones. Lowest profit? Tables. When you go to this visual, we can understand where we are doing good, where we are doing bad. So this kind of visuals will help us to understand where we are doing good and bad. Based on that, you can take what? Decisions. You see, tables is generating how much profit? Minus 18K. Profit number in minus is what? Profit number in minus is loss. What? Loss. You see, suppliers bookcases have minus numbers. Minus numbers means losses. When I share this visual with my company people, using this visual, my company will take some decisions. I said, one decision my company people taken is they're planning to stop selling what? Suppliers, bookcases, tables, because they're generating what? Losses. Another decision my company people taken is they're planning to concentrate more into the copiers business and phones business. What business? Copiers and phones. They're getting huge profits. Like this, they'll take the decisions, guys. So companies to analyze the data require this kind of reports. You guys are seeing these reports. Each one is a report here. What is the title of the report? Revenue opportunities report. This kind of reports are required for companies to analyze the data. Okay. So in order to create the report, companies need to perform a complete process called data analysis process. By performing this complete 5-step process, companies will create the reports. Guys, people will think that directly we'll go and create the reports. No, before we create the reports, first we need to do ETL. Then we need to create overlap database. Then we need to create what? Reports. Right? That point. Okay. To analyze the data, companies require reports. To create the reports, companies will perform what? To create reports, companies need to perform data analysis process. Which process? Companies need to perform data analysis process. Data analysis process, guys. Okay. So let me consolidate these 3 points. Take any company. Take what? Any company. You take any company. You name any company. That company will perform what? Data analysis. Every company will perform data analysis. Why companies will perform data analysis? In order to create reports. In order to create what? Why companies need to create reports? Companies need to create reports to analyze the data. Why company need to analyze the data? To take better decisions. Any company to take better decisions, what they need to do? They need to analyze any company to analyze the data, what they required? They want reports, using reports. To create the reports, what company need to do? They need to perform data analysis. Every company will perform what? Data analysis. Using data analysis, they'll create the reports. Using the reports, they'll analyze the data. Using analysis, they'll take what? Better decisions. That is the reason I said that each and every company will perform what? Data analysis. No matter whether it's a big company or small company, every company need to perform data analysis. Okay, now this is the right time. Now you got an idea. Every company need to perform these 5 steps, right? Let's try to understand these 5 steps in detail now. Okay, before I explain these 5 steps, let me tell you who is data analyst. Who is data analyst? You might be hearing about data analyst, right? Who is data analyst? Is the person who will perform these 5 steps. That person name is data analyst, guys. The person who perform data analysis. The person who performs data analysis is a what? Data analyst. The person who perform this ETL, who create this OLAP database, who create the reports, who share the reports to the client. That person name is what? Data analyst. Okay, you will learn more about it. Now, let's try to understand one by one. First, I'll start explaining about data OLTP, guys. OLTP. What is OLTP? What is the full form for OLTP? Is online transactional processing. Let me write the definition, guys. The place where companies stores the business data, the place where companies stores their business data, we call as what? OLTP. If my company is storing the business data in the SQL server, I can call SQL server as one OLTP. If my company is storing the business data in the Oracle database, I can also call Oracle as what? In the software terminology, wherever companies store their data, that they call it as OLTPs. Guys, why they call it as OLTPs? OLTP, business data also known as transactional data. Business data also not known as what? Transactional data. The place where we store transactional data. The place where we store what? Transactional data. The place where we store transactional data, we call it as what? Online transactional processing. Why? Transactional data. It is storing transactional data. That is how you got the name online transactional processing. In short, we call it as OLTP. Don't think much about the OLTP. It's just a name. Wherever your company is stored, your company will get business data that will be stored somewhere, right? Wherever we store the data, we can call it as either a data source or a OLTP. So just a name. It is just a software terminology. The place where company stores their business data or transactional data, we call it as OLTP. Every company will have one or multiple OLTPs. Every company will have one or multiple OLTPs. One or what? Multiple OLTPs to store uh, business data or transactional data. What is this one or multiple? Some company will have only one. Some companies will have multiple OLTPs. Take an example. Some companies will store their business data. You take ICICI example. ICICI will have a lot of different data. They'll have savings account data. They'll have credit card data, right? They might be storing savings account data in one database, credit card data in another database. That means they are storing in how many OLTPs in this example? Two, right? That's what a company will store their data either in one OLTP or companies will store the data in multiple OLTPs. Where? Multiple OLTPs. OLTPs contains what I said? Business data. Business data. This is the place where our work will start. Data analyst work will start in where? OLTPs. Now, try to understand. Companies will provide one or multiple OLTPs to the data analyst. Companies will provide one or multiple OLTPs to whom? To what? Data analyst, and ask to create reports to analyze the data. Ask to create what? Reports to analyze the data. Okay. What I am trying to say, who will provide this OLTPs to the data analyst? Companies. Who will provide? Companies will provide this OLTPs to the data analyst and ask to create what? Reports. That reports companies required for what purpose? To analyze the data and to take what? Better decisions. Okay. Now, important point is, it is never recommended to create the reports directly on OLTPs. Note, it is never recommended to create reports directly on where? OLTPs. Tell me, guys, what is the reason? What is the reason it is never recommended to create the reports directly on OLTPs? Anybody knows? Okay, OLTP company provided OLTP to the data analyst and they're asking to create the reports to analyze the data. What we are trying to tell is, it is never recommended to go and create reports directly on OLTPs, we are telling. So there are many reasons. Tell me few reasons if you know why we don't create the reports directly on OLTPs.
There is unstructured data.
Unstructured data, raw data. There are many reasons, not only this. The major reason Why we generally don't use OLTPs to create the reports is OLTPs contains unstructured data. Unstructured data. Unstructured data also known as raw data. Unstructured data also known as what? Raw data. That unstructured data or raw data is not useful for what? Create the reports. So I'll just show you within few minutes what is unstructured data, why it is not useful for creating the reports. I'll show you practically. Now, what data analysts need to do? Now, to create the reports, what data analysts need to do? So now data analysts need to create a new database. Now, data analysts need to create a new database called OLAP. Called what? OLAP to create what? Reports. To create the reports, guys. This OLAP I'm telling. Who will provide this OLTPs? Data analyst will create it or company will provide OLTPs?
Companies will provide.
OLTPs.
Company.
What I written here. Companies will provide one or multiple OLTPs to whom? Data analyst. Companies will provide this OLTPs to whom? Data analyst. Data analyst will not create them. Company will provide them. Who will create this OLAP? I said that data analysts need to create new database called what? OLAP. For what purpose? To create the reports. This OLAP database, who need to create it? Data analyst. It's a brand new database which will be created by what? Data analyst. Now try to understand what OLAP stands for. OLAP stands for online analytical processing. I'll tell you how you got the name. Now it's a new database, right? We need to move the data from OLTP database to OLAP database. To move the data from OLTP database to OLAP database, we required some software called what? ETL. Yes, we required some software called ETL. To move, just concentrate for 2 minutes, you'll get the idea. To move the data from OLTP to OLAP database, we required what? ETL software. What you require? ETL software. What ETL stands for? ETL full form is extract, transform, load. Extract, transform, load. Now, what data we need to move to the OLAP is OLTP will have all the company's data, but while moving the data from OLTP to OLAP, we need to move only the data which is required for creating the reports, which is required for creating the reports. Take an example. OLTP have 100 tables. How many tables are there? 100 tables are there. In OLTP, my company is storing the data in 100 tables. Imagine. In the reports, company is asking to show only 10 tables data. How many tables data they're asking to show in the report? Only 10 tables data. Now you tell me you need to move all the 100 tables to OLAP or only 10 tables? Into OLAP, how many tables you need to move? All the 100 or only 10? You need to move only 10 which you need to use for creating reports. While moving the data from OLTP to OLAP, we need to move only the data which you need to create what? Reports. Now, how many tables you are planning to use it in the reports? Only 10 tables. That 10 tables only you need to bring it. OLAP will have only data required for analysis purpose. What purpose? In OLAP, we will store analytical data. Data required for analysis, we call it as analytical data. What data? I said that OLAP will have only the data required for creating the reports or only the data required for analysis. The data required for analysis, we call it as analytical data. As you are storing analytical data, we call it as what? Online analytical processing. In short, we call it as what? OLAP. This is how the names you got it. But when it comes to OLAP, OLAP will have structured data. I said that OLTP contains unstructured data, right? But I write OLAP contains what? Structured data. Now, OLAP is getting the data from OLTP only, right? So when you OLTP have unstructured data, how the data becomes structured when it comes to OLAP? Because of ETL. Because of what? If you directly load the data from OLTP to OLAP directly, without ETL, if you load it, here also unstructured only. But you are moving through ETL, right? That ETL stands for extract, take the data what you required. In our case, take 10 tables. Next step is what? Transform. Transform means convert unstructured to what? Structured. And that transformed data, load it, save it in OLAP. And that's what it will do. So now OLAP will have all the data which you need to show in the reports, that too in the structured format. When I have structured data, that I can use it for creating what? Reports. Now, let's try to understand what is unstructured data with small example. Why it is not useful for creating the reports, I'll explain. Then I'll explain what is structured data, why it is required to create the report. These 3 steps we will understand practically now. To explain the 3 steps practically, I'll just open one image, guys. Just one slide I'm opening. Look at here. This is how the data will be in the OLTP. This is how the data will be. Take this as OLTP. This table is there in where? This is one table where we have country-wise sales. This is the data how it will be in the OLTP. This is the data how it will be in the OLAP. How the data will move from OLTP to OLAP. From OLTP to OLAP, to move the data, what software will help us? ETL. What software will help us? ETL. So generally, when you are getting the data from into OLTP, data will get from different people, guys. Let's say you take an example. In Amazon website, one customer will place the order, or hundreds of customers will place the order. In Amazon website, hundreds of customers will go and place the order. When hundreds of customers are placing the order, each person can enter the data in different format. So when I ask 100 people to write their country names, do you think that all the 100 people will write the country names in the same style? No, they will write in different formats. As OLTP will get the data from many number of people. Many number of people can enter the data in many different formats. Take an example, one customer enter the country name like what? United States. Second person enter like US, U.S. USA. But all these 5 entries are related to only one country, but they entered in different formats. And United Kingdom and UK, this is one country and different formats. Now tell me, when you have the data something like this, we call this kind of data as unstructured data. What data? Not in the single structure. Different structures are there. Unstructured data. But when you move this data from OLTP to OLAP, that becomes structured. US got converted into what? United States. U.S. converted into what? United States. US converted into what? United States. USA converted into what? United States. UK converted into what? United Kingdom. So now OLAP have country name in the structured or unstructured? Structured. Every data in the single format, structured. Converting US to United States is nothing but what? Transformation. Transformation. You extract, transform. The major work is transform and store the transformed data here. Now go to the next slide, guys. Now you got an idea what is unstructured and what is structured. Now go to the next slide and look at the slide. This table is OLTP table or OLAP table? This table is OLTP. It is structured or unstructured? Unstructured. When I directly use that unstructured data for creating this visual, in the visual, what you are showing? Country-wise sum of sales. I share this visual with my company people. My company people said this visual is wrong. What is the wrong in this visual? This visual is wrong. What wrong in this? When I try to create the visuals or reports directly on OLTP, will get wrong results. What wrong in this visual? Online people, what is the wrong in this visual?
The country names are in short and full.
No. See, what is the
We
wrong
get
in this visual is, it is showing 7 different sales values. My company is doing the business in only 2 countries. They're expecting to see only 2 sales values here. Instead of showing 7 different country names, they would like to see only 2 country names and 2 sales values. Using this visual, can I perform any analysis? Which country is doing more and which country is doing less? I cannot perform any analysis. This kind of problems you will get when you go to OLTP and when you create the visuals directly, you get this kind of problems, guys. That is the reason I said that we don't create. Problem is not with the visual. The problem is with the data. In order to create the visuals, we require proper data. Now go to the OLAP now. Next, go to the next database. This is the table in where? This is how the data will be in which database? OLAP. When I use this table to create this visual, here also I am showing what? Country-wise sales. What reporting tool, what visualization tool will do, it will take similar name into one and group it, and it will sum all the sales values and show it. When you sum these 5 sales values, what is the number you are getting? 1500. 1500. It will take this 2 into 1 and it will sum the sales. 100 plus 200, 300. When I share this visual with my company people said this visual is correct. We are doing the business in two different countries. One is what? United States. Second one is what? United Kingdom. United States is doing higher sales. United Kingdom is doing lower sales. They can do some analysis here, right? That's what. So now I hope you got. We will see a lot of other examples in the coming classes, guys. For now, you understand. Uh, we don't go and create reports directly on what? OLTPs. Create reports or visuals directly on OLTPs. When you forcefully go and create reports or visuals, you don't get proper data. That is the reason we need to bring the data to the ETL softwares. In the ETL softwares, we need to clean the data. In other words, cleaning the data means transform the data. Cleaning or what? Transform the data. That clean data or transformed data will be stored in a database called what? OLAP. That OLAP database we generally use for what? Create reports. Now, you people tell me, you are seeing some reports here, right? This kind of reports we will create on OLTP or OLAP. You people tell me this kind of reports I'll create on OLTP or OLAP. OLAP. Always we create this kind of reports on what databases? OLAP databases. The information what you shown in the reports, we generally call it as actionable information. Try to understand. The information which we shown in the reports, we call it as what? Actionable information, guys. The information which we shown in the reports, we generally call it as actionable information. Okay, what is that? Why we call it as actionable information? The information what you guys are seeing in the reports, we call it as actionable information. So why we call like that is, when you share this visual based on the information available in the visual, clients will take actions. Actions are nothing but decisions. Actions are nothing but what? Decisions. I already said that by using this visual, my company people or clients, I can call it, is my company people taken two decisions, two actions. What is the one action they taken? They stop selling what? Suppliers, bookcases, and tables. Second action they taken is what? Concentrate more on the copiers and phones business. So by using the data in the visuals, they will take actions or decisions. That is the reason this information, I call it as actionable information. Now, the data what is there in the reports, we call it as actionable information. Now read the definition of data analysis now. Now you will get the definition now. So data analysis is how many step process? This 5-step process name is data analysis. What it will do, which converts companies' business data. Where do we have our business data? Companies will store the business data in the OLTPs. It will convert business data into what? Actionable information. Where do we have actionable information? I said in the reports. Reports will have what? Actionable information. Data analysis will convert business data into actionable information. To convert business data into actionable information, first we need to do what? ETL. Second, we need to create what? OLAP database. Third, we need to create what? Reports. The three major steps in the data analysis is, who will provide the OLTPs to the data analyst? Company. The first major step what data analyst will do is what? ETL. The second major step data analyst will do is what? Creating OLAP. The third major step data analyst will do is what? Creating reports. And sharing the reports to the client is a easy task. It's not a difficult task. What are the three major tasks for the data analyst? ETL, creating OLAP database, creating reports, guys. Now, I hope everyone got an idea what is data analysis. Once you understand data analysis, then we can understand Power BI effectively. Now, let's try to understand what is Power BI. What is Power BI? What is Power BI is? Tell me, guys, which company developed Power BI? Microsoft is the
Microsoft.
company developed Power BI. Microsoft Power BI. What is the reason Microsoft developed Power BI? For what purpose Microsoft developed Power BI? To perform what? Data analysis. Microsoft understand that every company need to perform data analysis. For companies to perform data analysis, Microsoft developed a software called what? Power BI. So to perform these 5 steps, whatever the 5 steps you have here, to perform these 5 steps, Microsoft developed what? Power BI. Now, first point you need to know is Power BI is the name for collection of softwares. Power BI is the name for what? Collection of softwares. Collection of softwares. Power BI is not the name of a single software. It is the name for collection of softwares. Tell me what are the different softwares available in Power BI? First software available in Power BI is Power BI Desktop. What is the software? Second software available in Power BI is Power BI Service. Third software available in Power BI is Power BI Report Server. I'll explain, please concentrate. Report Server. Fourth software available in Power BI is Power BI Mobile. These are the four softwares available in Power BI. These four softwares together, we call it as some collection of softwares. For them, Microsoft given the name called what? Power BI. And out of the four softwares, the major software is Power BI Desktop. What is the major software here? Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is a development software in Power BI. Development software. Development software in Power BI. Power BI developer will work. Let's try to understand like this. You guys join today's class to learn Power BI. You people are here to learn what software? Power BI. My team said how much time it will take to learn Power BI. My team said it will take how much time? 2 months. Once you learn 2 months of time Power BI, you will become a Power BI data analyst. Once you learn Power BI for 2 months, you become a Power BI data analyst. People who learn Power BI, we call you as what? People who learn Power BI, we call you as Power BI data analyst. So when you join this Power BI course and if you learn Power BI for 2 months, you will become a Power BI data analyst. After you become a Power BI data analyst, what happens? You'll go and join one company. So after you become a Power BI data analyst, what happens, guys? You will join one company. There are thousands and lakhs of companies. One of the company will hire you. What do you need to do in that company? You need to do data analysis. In that company, you need to do data analysis using what software? Power BI, guys. You guys need to do the data analysis using Power BI. Now, uh, Power BI developer or Power BI data analyst mostly work in a software called Power BI Desktop. I said that Power BI Desktop is a development software. 90% of time, Power BI developer will work in what software? Power BI Desktop. Remaining three softwares are there, right? Power BI Service, Power BI Report Server, Power BI Mobile. These three softwares will work for 10% of time only. What is the meaning here? Power BI Desktop is a big software here, and this Power BI Service, Report Server, Mobile are small softwares. What are they? Small softwares. So now one more point. Okay, Power BI is the name for what? Collection of softwares. How many softwares are there I written here? Four. Out of four, what is the major software? Power BI Desktop. It is used for development purpose. 90% of time, Power BI data analyst will work in desktop only. Now, let me make you understand Power BI Desktop in more detail. This is the Power BI Desktop. Again, Power BI Desktop internally contains three more softwares. What are the three more softwares you have? Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View. These three softwares are internally available in where? Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop contains three more softwares. Go and write them. What are the three more softwares? First software we see there is what? Power Query. What is the second software you see there? Power Pivot. Which one? Power Pivot. What is the third software we see there? Power View. These are the three different softwares available. Now we need to use all these softwares. We clearly written what are the different softwares available in Power BI. Using all these softwares, what you need to do? Using Power BI softwares, we need to perform what? Data analysis. You need to do these 5 steps. Already I explained data analysis contains how many steps? 5 steps. Let me write the definition of Power BI. Power BI is the name for collection of softwares which are used to perform what? Which are used to perform what? Data analysis. Power BI is the name for collection of softwares. Those are used to perform what? Data analysis. Now, okay, we listed what are the different softwares available in Power BI. We know what data analysis is. 40 minutes of time I discussed what data analysis is. Now we understand what are the different softwares available in Power BI. Now we will try to understand how to perform this data analysis using this Power BI softwares, guys. Someone tell me who will provide this OLTPs to the Power BI data analyst? Power BI data analysts need to create it or companies will provide it?
Company.
Provided by the
Provide.
companies. companies will provide this. We no need to do anything. Okay, Power BI developer will not do anything here. What is the first step? Power BI OLTPs contains what? Unstructured data, we know. So first step, what Power BI developer need to do? ETL. To do this ETL, where we will do that ETL in Power BI? Power BI have a lot of softwares in it, right? To do the ETL, we need to use a software called what here? Power Query. Right, that point? Power Query is an ETL software in where? In Power BI. You can look at this architecture slide. You can see Power Query, what I said. It's a ETL software. So wherever companies are storing their business data, we guys can call it as what? Either OLTPs or data sources. Wherever we store the business data, we call it as either OLTPs or what? Data sources. Power Query will extract the data. Power Query will transform the data. In Power Query, you will clean or transform the data. The transformed data will be loaded into where? Power Pivot. Using, you extract some tables. You transform the data in the tables. You load the tables to Power Pivot. Using the tables what you loaded, you will create a what? OLAP. Okay, now we understand that OLTPs will be provided by the company. ETL will be performed in the Power Query. After ETL, what is the next step Power BI data analyst need to do? He need to create a OLAP database. To create the OLAP database, we'll use something called what? Power Pivot. Power Pivot is a database. Power Pivot is a what? Is a database which is used to create what? OLAP. To create what? OLAP case. So how SQL Server is one database? How Oracle is one database? Power Pivot is a similar kind of database. So you extracted the tables. You transform the data in the tables. You load the tables to Power Pivot. Power Pivot will store the tables because Power Pivot is a what? Database. Whatever the tables we loaded into the Power Pivot, you can use those tables and create what? OLAP. Whatever the tables we loaded into Power Pivot, I can use the tables and create what? OLAP. Okay, that's fine. Now you understand ETL will be performed in the Power Query. OLAP database will be created in the Power Pivot. What is the next step? Creating the reports. Where we will create the reports is using what? Power View. Power View is a software which is used to create the reports. Power View is a what? Software which is used to create which one? Reports. Okay. In the Power View, once you create the report, that report contains what? Visuals. Visual report you created. That visuals contains what? Actionable information. What it contains? Actionable information. That information you need to finally share with whom? Clients. What is the last step? Once you create the reports, we need to share the reports to whom? Clients. Once you share the reports to the clients, using that reports, what clients can do? Analyze the data. Using analysis, what they can take? Better decisions, right? Now, to share the reports to the clients, Power BI desktop cannot share the reports directly to whom? Clients. Power BI desktop don't have the capability to share the reports to the clients. Either we need to publish it to where? Power BI service to share the reports to the clients. Either we need to publish it to where? Power BI report server to share the reports to the client. So Power BI desktop cannot share it. Now, to share the reports to the client, either I need to use Power BI service or either I need to use Power BI report server. Now you need to get one question here. What is the question you need to get here? So what is the question you need to get here is, to do ETL, I have only what? Power Query. To create OLAP database, I have only what? Power Pivot. To create the reports, I have only what? Power View. But to share the reports to the client, I have what? Power BI service and Power BI report server. Why there are two softwares to do the same work? Why there are duplicate softwares in Power BI which are doing the same work? No company will use both of them. What is the difference is, one is a cloud-based software. Second one is a on-premise software. You will understand in the coming classes. So here, Power BI service is what? Cloud. Power BI report server is what? On-premise. On-premise. So a some of the companies will use cloud. Some of the companies will use what? On-premise. For what purpose? Sharing the reports to the clients. Whatever the report we created in Power BI Desktop, we will move that report to Power BI service. From there, we will share with the clients. Or else we can move it to Power BI report server. We can share with the clients. 99% of the companies, they're using cloud. 1% of the companies, they're using what? On-premise. Let me write all these points here. Power BI service is a Azure cloud-based server. What is that? Azure cloud-based server or software. Azure cloud-based software, which is used to what? Which is used for what purpose? Share reports to clients. How much percentage I said? 99% I said that they're using it. Power BI report server, what I said? It's a on-premise software. It's a what? On-premise software which is used to what? Share reports to client. How much percentage is there? Only 1% of companies they're using Power BI report server, guys. Now, once in Power View, once you create the report, that report you'll publish to Power BI service and you'll share with whom? Clients. Once you share the report to the client, how the client can check the report? You think like this. I send an email to you. What are the different places people can check the email? People can check the email in using laptops. Where you can check the email? Using laptops, using desktops, or using mobile phones also. Where is the another place you can check the email? I send a Gmail. These are the places you can check. Whatever the reports we shared from Power BI service to clients, clients also can check in their laptops or desktops or what? Mobile phones. In order to check the reports in the mobile, they require a mobile app. In order to check anything in the mobile, you require a mobile app or not? So in order to check the Gmail in the mobile, you will install a Gmail app. In the same way, in order to check the Power BI reports, we need to install a mobile app. What is the mobile app you have is Power BI Mobile. Go to Play Store or App Store, search with the name called what? Power BI Mobile. Power BI Mobile, what is it? It's a mobile app which is used for what purpose? It's a mobile app which is used to what? View reports, which is used to view what? Reports in where? Mobiles or tabs or iPads. Who will install this mobile app? Developers or clients? We have mobile app for iOS. We have mobile app for Android. Also, we have mobile app for Windows. Who will install this mobile app means clients, right? Clients are the one who need to see it. Now, you people tell me, these are the different softwares available in Power BI. With the help of these softwares, am I able to perform this data analysis? Data analysis contains how many steps? 5 steps. Can I perform these 5 steps in Power BI? Yes. Who will provide the OLTPs? I said company. Where I do ETL, I said Power Query. Where I create OLAP? Power Pivot. Where I'll create the reports? Power View. How I will share the reports to the clients? Using Power BI service mostly. 99% of the companies. Once you share the reports, clients will mostly see the reports in where? Mobile phones. Using an app called what? Power BI Mobile. Power BI mobile app. So this is all about what is Power BI. If someone asks you what is Power BI, what you need to tell about Power BI? Power BI is what? Name for collection of softwares which are used to perform what? Data analysis. We understand first 40 minutes what is data analysis. Then we understand what is Power BI. Now we completed understanding data analysis. We completed understanding what is Power BI. Now let's try to understand how to perform data analysis using what? Power BI. Let's see how to perform data analysis using Power BI. Data analysis contains how many steps? First step is what? OLTPs. Who will provide the OLTPs? Companies. Second step in the data analysis is what? ETL. Where we do ETL in Power BI? Using which software? Power Query. Power Query. After ETL, what is the next step in the data analysis after ETL? OLAP. Where we will create OLAP, I said? Pivot. After creating OLAP, what is the next step in the data analysis? Create reports. Where we will create reports in Power BI? Power View. After create the reports, what is the last step? Share reports to clients, where we will how we will share the reports to the clients. I said mostly using a software called what? Power BI service. So what you need to learn to get the job in Power BI is, to get the job in Power BI, OLTPs will be provided by the companies. You don't need to learn anything about this. First, you need to learn what? How to do the ETL in where? Power Query. Then you need to learn what? How to create the OLAP database in Power Pivot. Then you need to learn what? How to create the reports in Power View. And finally, you need to learn what? How to share the reports to the clients using what? Power BI service. When you learn this, you will easily get the job on what? Power BI. Nowadays, lot of companies are performing data analysis using a software called what? Power BI. Believe me, almost every company is using Power BI to perform what? Data analysis. There are a lot of opportunities on this. Now, I completed the demo part, guys. As I said, we understand introduction to Power BI, where we understand these 3 points. I'll just discuss some general points now, which are required to get the job on Power BI. These general points are important. I'll not take much time. I'll complete the class in another few minutes. Few general points I'll discuss. That general points are required in order to get the job on Power BI, guys. What are the general points is? First, let me copy paste them. Instead of typing them, I'll just go to the previous batch. I just copy paste few of the points here, guys. I'll just copy paste these points and I'll explain this. First, when I'm going to start the new batch, I'm going to start the new batch tomorrow itself, guys. New batch is going to start tomorrow. At what? Tomorrow is what date? 18. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow at what time I'm going to start the batch? 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. in the morning. Every day, 1 hour class will be there. 9:30 to 10:30. If these timings will not work for you, another batch will start upcoming week. At what time? 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. You can choose which batch is suitable for you. Continuation to today's class is tomorrow at what time? 9:30 to 10:30. You people can attend tomorrow and after tomorrow's class free. 18 and 19 classes you can attend for free. So I'll take Power BI course for how many days is 2 months, right? 60 hours. All the 60 hours of the time, this batch timings will be from 9:30 a.m. to what? 10:30 a.m. every day. For 2 months you will have. Tomorrow I'm going to start the batch, this 9:30 a.m. batch, 9:30 to 10:30 batch. You people can attend 2 more classes for free. Tomorrow, 18 and 19, another 2 free classes. In the 2 free classes, I'll discuss what? Practicals. Today I just discussed only theory, right? In another 2 classes, you will get what? Practicals. Power BI developer work will start in Power BI desktop. Who will provide this data? This data company will provide. Our work will start in where? Power BI desktop. In tomorrow's class, I'll tell you how to install Power BI desktop. How to install? Once I tell you how to install Power BI desktop, then I'll tell you how to open Power Query, how to do ETL practically. Then you will learn how in Power Pivot how to create OLAP database. Then you will learn in Power View how to create what? Visual reports. Then you will learn how to publish the reports to where? Power BI service, how to share the reports to whom? Clients. This complete process, entire process, you will practically learn in the next 2 classes at a high level. You go and see here, practically at a high level, how the Power BI software will work. You will learn in what? Next 2 free classes. Okay. So now after this class, you will get one mail, guys. What the mail will contains is, mail will contains 4 things. You people will get a mail. Mail will contains what? Recorded session. It also contains what? Notepad. Whatever I written in the last 1 hour, I written a lot of notes, right? I'll attach these notes in the notepad mail. You please check it. And you also get introduction class Word document. Every class you will get one Word document like this. Every class you people are going to get what? Word document. Every class will get one Word document. Like today we have introduction, right? This introduction Word document is this. You people get this Word document to you. Along with that, you also get what? In the mail, I'm going to attach the course content. So what I'm going to cover in the next 60 hours? The classes will be from Monday to Saturday. Sunday is holiday, right? So that it will take what? Daily 1 hour, Sunday to Saturday, Monday to Saturday, Sunday is holiday. It will take more than 2 months. More than 2 months, what curriculum I am going to cover? I'll attach that course content. You people just go through the course content, what I'm going to attach here. Uh, so I'll just show you what that course content have. I'll just open it and show you. You look at here, this course content totally have how many pages? 11 pages. So whatever the topics are included in the course content, we discussed every topic with real-time scenarios, guys, real-time examples. Okay, you please walk through that course content. Now, what you will learn in the 60 hours of time is, in the 60 hours of time, you learn how to perform what? Data analysis using Power BI. In the 60 hours, more than 2 months, so you will learn how to perform data analysis. After learning my 60 hours of classes, you people can comfortably keep 3 to 5 years of experience on Power BI. Most of the people who join this course, they want to keep experience on Power BI. So you can comfortably keep 3 to 5 years of experience. That much knowledge you will get it from this course. Let me tell you the breakdown of the 60 hours. So we know that this 5 steps you need to, you will learn this 5 steps in the 60 hours. Data analysis contains what? 5 steps. We know that out of these 5 steps, OLTPs will be provided by what? Companies. First step, Power BI data analysts need to do is what? ETL in the Power Query. You'll start learning Power Query for how many hours? 13 hours. What you will learn for 13 hours? How to do ETL. There you will learn about a language called mashup language. Which language? Mashup. After ETL, what you need to learn? Creating OLAP database in Power Pivot. You will start learning Power Pivot for how many hours? 17 hours. What you will learn there? How to create OLAP database. While creating OLAP database, you need to you will learn data modeling concepts, data warehousing concepts, and you will learn what? DAX language. DAX is one of the important language. You will learn that in the Power Pivot case. Now, once you learn how to create OLAP, then you need to learn how to create what? Reports using what software? Power View. Where you will learn Power View for how many hours? 17 hours. What you will learn there? How to create the reports. Once you create the reports, what is the last step? We need to share the reports to the clients. To share the reports to the clients, you will use what software I said? Power BI service. You will start learning Power BI service for how many hours? 13 hours, where you will learn what? Azure cloud concepts, admin related concepts, and Power BI projects. So in the 60 hours of training, this is the breakdown, guys. In the 60 hours of training, you will not only learn the topics in Power BI. What add-ons you will learn is, you will learn what? Real-time projects. I'll just show you one of the project here. This kind of, the title of this project is Retail AB project. In this project, you will take the data from where? SQL Server database. As per the requirement, you will do lot of ETL. You will create a OLAP database like this. As per the project, you will create a OLAP database like this. So there will be lot of requirements in this document. This document have 26 pages. You have the requirements here. As per the requirements, you will develop the reports. Okay? This kind of reports you will develop it. Okay. So that such kind of real-time projects you will do it. Now, before I explain remaining 3 points, let's discuss who can learn Power BI. Okay, make a note at the end I'll answer. Who can learn Power BI is, so there are a lot of opportunities for freshers. Who can learn Power BI? Freshers means who completed their education. So around 3 years. Around 3 years, if you complete your education, you can try the job as a fresher. Freshers have opportunities on Power BI. So if you completed your education before 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, or 10 years, whatever it is, if you complete before, you have a gap more than 3 years and you are not working anywhere, then you will be treated as what? Career break or career gap. Who can learn Power BI is this career break or career gap people best suitable to learn Power BI. The reason behind that is lot of jobs on Power BI is experienced. So this career break people or career gap people want to keep some 3 to 5 years of experience. And they can apply for the Power BI experience jobs. So they are not working anywhere, right? How they can keep 3 to 5 years of experience? There are some consultancies who will provide the experience, guys. There are some consultancies outside. They'll provide what? 3 to 5 years of experience. You can utilize that experience and you can try as a job. Not only freshers and career gap people, career transition people also best to technology is Power BI. Career transition means already you are working. Let's say you are working whether in IT job or non-IT job. There are a lot of people, they're working in IT job or non-IT job. They don't see the growth in their job. They're planning to learn the latest technologies available in the market. Power BI is the best option. These people also want to keep 3 to 5 years of experience, guys. Career break people, career transition people, they don't get the job as a fresher. They want to keep experience. So this career transition people, you can convert your experience into Power BI experience. Let's say you are working in on testing, a manual testing or something in your company, and you want to get the job on Power BI. You can learn Power BI and you can tell from last 3 years in your company you are working on Power BI related job, not the testing. So, like this, these are the three category of people eligible to learn Power BI. Freshers happily can learn. Career break or career transition, best suitable to learn Power BI. I said why best means learning Power BI is easy. Even you keep 3 years of experience, survival is easy. Important thing is while choosing the software, what you need to learn, you need to choose the software where we can learn easily and where we can survive tomorrow when you get the job. Power BI is such a software where you can learn easily and survive tomorrow when you get the job by keeping experience also. Okay, most of the people who join my course, they want to try. Their career break people or career transition people. I know majority of the people who attended the demo, they're from this two category. Freshers very less, right? So these people must and should they need to keep the experience. To keep the experience, you people know Power BI developer roles and responsibilities. As a Power BI developer, what are the roles and responsibilities we'll have in the project? We'll discuss. These are the in any Power BI project, these are the roles and responsibilities we generally have. We'll talk about Power BI developer roles and responsibilities with practical real-time scenarios. And we will help you in preparing the resumes. We'll talk to you one-on-one. We'll discuss whether you are a fresher, experienced, or career break, whatever it is, we'll discuss and we'll help you in preparing your resumes. And we'll provide a lot of entry questions and we'll discuss them. And we'll conduct what? Mock interviews. So these are the things you are going to get add on in this training. And I already said who can learn Power BI, and all the 60 hours of recorded sessions we will share with you. Every class recording you will get it, and we have a separate support team who will help you to clarify the questions. You are doing the practice, you got some questions, you don't need to wait for the trainer to clarify the questions. You can reach out to the support team, they'll help you to clarify the questions. Now I'll go with the questions. Now I'm done with explaining what is Power BI, what I'm going to teach in Power BI. I clearly written here what is the output you will get from the Power BI course. I discussed it. Now, a common question a lot of students will ask is any prerequisite to learn what? Power BI. So, a lot of people here, they're coming from non-IT background, they're coming from non-computer background, or they don't have any prior computer knowledge. Am I eligible to learn Power BI means? In order to learn Power BI, there is no prerequisite to learn Power BI. People will think that to learn Power BI, some people I said, some people will think that to learn Power BI, they need to know already Excel. Strictly, even if you don't know Excel, you can start learning what? Power BI. Some people will think that to learn Power BI, they need to know SQL. Even if you don't know anything about SQL, you can start learning what? Power BI. In my classes, I'll teach Power BI from very basics to the project level, where you can keep 3 to 5 years of experience on Power BI in the 60 hours of time. Okay. Now, I said that there is no prerequisite to learn Power BI. But so, okay, I comfortably joined Power BI. I mastered Power BI within 2 months. Only when you learn Power BI, you don't get the job. So if you prepare a resume only by adding the Power BI, you don't get what? Job. So in order to get the job on Power BI, what is mandatory? SQL is mandatory. You go and see the job postings on Power BI. Uh, Power BI job postings will post with different names, with data analyst, Power BI developer, Power BI data analyst, Power BI specialist. With all these designations, they'll post it. If you go and try to check the job postings there, most of the Power BI jobs will be in the combination of what? Power BI plus SQL. Power BI SQL, how much job postings will be there? 90% of job postings will be in the combination of what? Power BI plus SQL. So there are some job postings where they'll ask Power BI plus SQL plus Excel also. There are some job postings they'll ask Power BI plus SQL plus Python. There are some you'll ask Power BI plus SQL plus Power Apps, Power BI SQL ADF, Power BI SQL Tableau. I can strictly say ignore this combination. Major combination is in the what? Power BI plus SQL. Why? If you see all the Power BI jobs, I see one mandatory skill called what? SQL. What is the SQL? Why SQL is required for getting the job on Power BI? Unfortunate thing is, the SQL I don't use anywhere in the Power BI. You take SQL. SQL will not use to extract the data. SQL will not use to perform the ETL. In Power Pivot to create OLAP, I don't use SQL. In Power View to generate the reports, I don't use SQL. To publish the reports to Power BI service, to share the reports to the clients, I don't use SQL. What I'm trying to say here, throughout complete Power BI development, nowhere I will use SQL. Without knowing SQL also, you can complete the Power BI project. When you can complete the Power BI project without SQL, you want to, you can. Uh, so just if you want to talk with me, just wait. Let me complete the demo. So if you want to complete, if you want to complete, so throughout complete Power BI development, we don't use what? SQL. When you don't use SQL nowhere in Power BI, then why? To get the job on Power BI, every Power BI job posting, they're asking SQL. Online people, anybody knows? Anybody knows why in all the jobs they're asking SQL? I said that we don't use SQL in the Power BI development, right? When you don't use SQL in the Power BI development, then why?
To validate data between the reports and the
Yes,
backend system.
correct. Yes, validate the data. Perfect. So what happens is mostly companies will take the data from databases. Companies will store the data in the databases. You will take the data from database, and in Power Query you do ETL. In Power Pivot you create OLAP. In Power View you create reports. How can you blindly tell the report you created is correct? You are moving the data from Power Query to Power Pivot to Power View, and then you are showing it. There is a chance you might do a mistake in Power Query, you might do a mistake in Power Pivot, you might do a mistake in Power View, you might be showing the wrong numbers in the report. Can I share the wrong numbers to my clients? When you share the wrong numbers to your client, what is the problem? Client will take wrong decisions. So, right. So once you create the report, we need to check that numbers are correct or not. How we generally check it is, we need to go to the database. In the database, we need to write SQL query. What you need to write? Databases can understand only any database you take. All the databases understand a common language called what? SQL. Using the SQL, you need to write the queries. That query will give some output. That output, what query is giving, that you need to compare with what? Visual output or report output. So read this now. Uh, Power BI developer will not write SQL code in development. But what to develop the reports, we don't require what? SQL. But to test the data in the reports, we need what? SQL. After Power BI developer develop the report, he is not blindly supposed to share the report to the client. He need to test that numbers are correct or not. He need to go to the database and write the SQL queries to test it. What SQL stands for? SQL stands for what? Structured query language. It's a language which is used to learn. This is a common language which is used in all the databases. You take any of the database, what is the common language it will use? SQL. In order to learn SQL, you need to learn one database. We are going to teach which database? MySQL database, where we will teach all the SQL concepts for how many hours? 30 hours. In order to get the job on Power BI, you need to learn Power BI for how many hours? 60 hours. We need to learn SQL concepts for how many hours? 30 hours. Totally 90 hours you need to spend to get the job on Power BI. If you already know SQL, you learn only Power BI. If you don't know SQL, you learn both SQL and Power BI. This is all about today's demo. I'm done with the demo. When is your next class, I said? Tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. 9:30 to 10:30. Continuation to today's class is tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll start the practicals. Before that, I'll go with the questions. Online people, if you have any questions, please raise your hands.